All right. It is on. It's time. Yet another day to do that. Time to do more on the character. So I was thinking about it. There's definitely stuff I want to change. Let's have the character here on the side again so we can be inspired. I think I need to change. I need to change. Give it another joint here. But yeah, I want to simplify the chest. I want to, like I said, simplify the chest, fix the hips, introduce a second material. Not too keen on the head still. The neck is not really correct. I like the arms. The arms are getting there. Shape of the legs are off. Yeah. Things to do. Hey, Lurib. Captain Jetlag. Orby. I'm fine, thanks, Lurib. How are you? So, let's start the clock. 30 minutes. Let's keep on developing. Hey, Babu220. How's it going? Yeah, so E3 is happening. Have you guys been following E3 and what they've been showing? I'm super pumped about a couple of games that they announced yesterday and day before yesterday. No, yesterday. I think yesterday was all. They started all the reveals, right? And Lurib. Oh yeah, thank you. Saturday extra stream. I should have saved out all the images because it's really hard to see the temperature shifts, etc. I did on the paintovers on the stream. It comes all a little bit washed out. So my apologies for that. Next stream I'll make sure to save out the paintovers for you guys. It was my mistake. I shouldn't have just closed it. Yeah, that'll be fixed next time. So let's see, we should have maybe a joint over here. We should kind of copy this joint for the foot of sorts, but I think yeah. There's some really cool games. I was very excited about Anthem. I think Anthem looked really, really good. Obviously, it's all kind of fake gameplay, obviously, as their is for presentation. But I'm hoping that it'll make sense. Let's see that one a little bit. I'm hoping it'll, they'll successfully manage to make the game good. Anthem looks super cool. Just my type of game. But then Ubisoft dropped they won E3 for me with showing that cinematic trailer for Beyond Good and Evil 2. God damn, that's such a good trailer. Shit. I mean, the original Beyond Good and Evil which is what, 10, almost 15 years old now. Um, it was a really cool game. It was a very alternative game. It was you play a girl who got kind of like stranded with her pig buddy, and this pig buddy was not like just a pig, but like a mutant, you know, like was talking, etc. And she was like a reporter, if I remember correctly, and you had a staff. You could do some like martial art like combos, but majority of it was exploration, and you were photographing, and I don't know. It was a really cool game. I really enjoyed the game back in the days. It was great, really strong narrative, strong characters. Um, yeah, it was a great world they had crafted. So I'm really excited about the sequel. Now the sequel is, you know, so long ago. The first one came, so I'm thinking that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is not going to have anything to do with the original game. It's going to be a completely different. You know, how can it be? How can it be the same, or a sequel when it's like one guy on like IGN said some fans of the original probably have already died of age. I mean, statistically, that is probable because 15 years ago. Hey, Magshin, good morning. Atski, good morning. Good morning. Yeah, Lurib, they say it's a prequel, but I mean they can say it's whatever they want. It's 15 years later in real, in our time, not game world. It's too long for it to be relevant in the sense of it being a sequel, of only in spirit. If they try to stay true to the original, it's going to be a dated game, so they have to change it. They have to make it new, right? So it's nothing wrong with it. It's just a fact. Magshin, yeah, that 3D and 2D game, which was the Last Night, was it? Last Night, I think it's called. That looked really, really good as well. My concern with that, with a lot of those side scrollers, etc., is that story is usually not very strong. In a cinematic game like that, it's very hard to make, or it's cinematic to some degree because of the way they set up the game. I mean, this is just me thinking out loud. I have no idea. I saw the trailer yesterday, so how can I know, right? But I'm hoping that 2D 3D pixel art hybrid delivers. I'll definitely buy it if it looks good, gameplay wise. Visually, it's pretty good there. It definitely ticks all the boxes that a cool game like that should. They suggested some sort of scenarios, etc. So we'll see. Uh, so someone, the name eludes me, suggested yesterday for this concept that it should be a third or a second set of arms, so that it can turn into like a spider, flip, etc. Climb. I think that's a cool idea, and I want to suggest it. I was thinking, you could have an arm put inside the other arm because it's robotics, right? So it doesn't need to be. So you could have just some sort of structural compromise on the bicep, like an inset into the arm, like it's a cradle, and that in there is a second set of arms that you can fold out. I think that would be cool. Imagine splittable arms. Yeah, but for me then, when you split the arms, you kind of, it makes it flimsy. I mean, it could be done in a cool way for sure. Um, like it can split, but I mean, now she gets kind of buffed arms, and they don't feel very thin. Move the arms down there. No, I like the idea of having a second set there. Let's go with that. Let's see what it does. I think it can be cool. Whoa. Maybe just less of a silhouette. And suggest that it's like a pocket of sorts on the arm. I think that'll do. I want to also introduce, yeah, I'm hoping this stream I'll be able to push the render a bit. So one thing I looked at is the silhouette of the body of the hip. Now I don't know really how to deal with it at the moment. I think something like that. I want to have some nice strong shapes before I'll move to rendering the shapes. Because otherwise I have to go back in and change, and I'd rather not. And you can hear my son in the background having fun. I've been designing logos for a client for quite some time now, and oh man, I don't know. It's fun, but it's also not fun. For Hardline, we did lots of fake companies, Battlefield Hardline. It was pretty fun to see later in the game. Like you're in a gas station and you're shooting your own beer commercial and stuff like that. But yeah, it's fun only to a certain degree. But when you have to sit and do logos, I mean, granted, it's going to be front and center in the game for the client, but yeah, it's not. You know, if I could choose, I would probably not. So, someone said see-through, like plastic. I'm not sure about it because I kind of like the idea of her being, but we need a second material. I don't know. Let's explore the hand for now while I think about material. Could be cool. Maybe she has plastic around her hands so it feels a little bit like gloves, right? So that she doesn't really touch her victims. I think that would be a cool place to introduce a secondary material. So let's give her some just kind of like a additional silhouette. to suggest that they're coated in plastic. Maction, yeah. Exactly, absolutely. You can only do as much, then it just becomes a chore, you know, when you have to do version after version after version, and you're kind of going numb on it. And you're just doing logos, hoping that something will stick, you know, that becomes the wrong mind state. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there. Like, oh, come on, just choose one and let me get on with it to some degree. Okay. I'm kind of digging. I'm kind of digging the shapes. Much better than the right side. Hey Svensson. Hey Mila. Welcome, you fantastic people. Okay. Now I decided to have that box on the side. I'm starting to doubt it, that it makes sense, but I'll keep it in for now. I kind of want to see what that does to the whole picture. It makes sense for me to have it there for the time being. I'm not digging what looks like ant legs at the moment. I want it to be completely different. I don't want it just to intersect like that. It makes it look boring. Have some machinery. Not sure about having just all these V shapes going down. Probably need to change it up a bit. Well, that looks pretty. That looks better. Hey, dear Bart. Good morning. Thanks. I'm just playing around with it and seeing, what comes out. Um, it's fun to design like this for me. Maybe it's not that interesting for you guys. So this week, I think it's a good experimentation, seeing how one can make the stream interesting, and if it's something all of you enjoy, like me doing 1 week of sketching and then choose one to develop further. I'm cool with that as well. That looks cool. Let's give her some alien type eyes, so she sees with more than just one set of eyes. Now she has two. I think that's pretty cool. Maybe it could be encased in plastic at places. Like she has the main face, and then there's a second material that's like plastic, so it looks like translucency on her head. think that could be cool. Okay, but I also with this, I know it's gonna be as I'm defining the materials, they're gonna separate a little bit more, and I want it to be like dark metal with probably gray metal, so that we get a rhythm in the design and not just all the same black material. So we'll see about that as we're gonna moving forward. But I'm thinking maybe that today is just gonna be a correction day because I'm halfway through. I'm glad that you guys find it interesting. It's a fun thing to do, to keep developing an idea rather than just drawing something new. It's a little bit refreshing. Now, I'm thinking. Like, how can we? That's gonna look like a shape like that. Maybe that could work. By the way, for a client, they have a poster on the side of the conference hall at E3, and on it is my designs. Not all of them, but some of my designs there, which is really cool to see, like a 3-story building with adorned with my my characters that they made. It's pretty sick. Always exciting to see. It was the same for, I think, Lords of the Fallen 2 years ago when they were on E3. They had this massive poster everywhere. Huge, 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 and so cool to see one's art or publicly like that. Lurib. I mean, the picture is probably online. It's nothing secret. You just Google E3 outside, and you probably see it. And there's no secret who the client is in this case that we help out with. They have even mentioned me, which is Lawbreakers. There's a massive Lawbreakers poster. So it's not a secret that we at Opus are helping out with them. They do great stuff, and it's an absolute pleasure to be lending our hands. And obviously, as with everything, it's a collaboration with the client, so it's not just all me that's on that poster. It's obviously their interpretation of my concept, etc. But still cool to see. 30-minute lecture. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it kind of is in a way. It's a step by step. You can see me go through the thought process, talking about what I'm thinking about, etc. I think that's a nice shape. I'm thinking maybe maybe she's a bit too wide over the shoulders. So what I'm gonna do is see if I can remedy that. I think like that. Has to go down like that. Could be cool with a little bit longer neck, but obviously not this long. But I think proportionally it might be more interesting. I don't want to give her like a droopy like bottleneck, bottle shoulders, you know, where they just kind of taper off. But yeah, I'm not sure about the stomach yet. I think what I gotta do for the stomach is add more what looks like stomach. I kind of like this weird pattern being created on the stomach, so I'm gonna chase that design a bit. I kind of like it. Looks weird, but also strong. I like it. So as you see, there's a lot of always fiddling with things, like when you're designing, getting it just right. But I don't know. Is it too much? Probably is. But I kind of like it. Decisiveness, right? I like it. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I like it. Oh, I don't know. Maybe too much. I don't know. Hallmark of a great designer. Oh, Svensson, it's my pleasure. Like I mentioned earlier that I didn't save out the paint overs, so a lot of the contrast and color subtleties, etc., in my paint overs, they are a bit lost. So my apologies for that. You see, I kind of like the strong shoulders. Now she's a little bit too weak. Let's go back in. Slightly different. Yeah. Thanks, Vincent. Oh well, go and have a listen, and then you can decide if it's super educational. Okay, I think we're definitely moving in the right direction. Hips, I'm gonna narrow slightly. It's they're a little bit too wide for my taste. Probably something more like that. Would be cool if she had a second set of. I mean, the idea is that she folds the legs back, anyways, so that she has she can have one more joint to extend, and she has a second set of arms. You know, which is fine. Let's. Add some of this. So 40 seconds left. I think we're starting to find the character. I think I'll just stick with this color treatment for the time being and not go back to grayscale. I think we're at a point where that is just going to be mushing around too much. So let's make a decision to go through with this. Let's see what happens if we lower the brightness. Yeah. Okay, so next would be, which I didn't have time, but next would be start defining the materials, I'd say. I think the overall shapes are quite good at the moment. I think we definitely could start having some fun with that aspect of materials, etc. I think we're getting closer to the final design. Still lots of experimentation to do. I also want to do a back view. Hey, Javiato. Javiato. Welcome back. Yeah, so time's up. We're on the right track, exploring the concept. Design is kind of starting to work. I think I like some of the shapes. I want to play around a little bit with curvature of the arms, etc., etc. But yeah, I think when we start separating materials, playing with subtleties in shape and bends, I think it's going to be even stronger. But what I think what's there is good, and good enough, I think, is the thing here. And then we'll move on to back view after that. Oh, thanks, Mila. All right, well, I can definitely sit and do the same concept over and over again, or evolve it. It's okay. I mean, we can set it up. I'm up for changing the setup of the stream, but it can only be 30 minutes a day. Anyways, thanks everyone for coming. Good day, good night, wherever you are, and see you tomorrow morning for the same character. Keep pushing forward. Bye, everyone. Have a good one.